Salesforce paused a major security rollout on July 1st, then reversed course a day later. I'm Sarah, and here's what most mortgage teams are getting wrong about it.
This is Salesforce MFA Enforcement 2026, a resource built for mortgage CRM teams, loan officers, and Salesforce admins who need to know what's changing before phishing-resistant enforcement resumes. Here's the whole picture in one table. MFA for all users is delayed, but MFA for privileged users is active. SMS and email authentication are not allowed anymore. Security keys are recommended, and Salesforce admin preparation is required. And here's the trap. Loan processors and underwriters often inherit broad data access through old permission sets, which quietly makes them privileged under Salesforce's rule, whether their title says admin or not. Salesforce MFA is a login requirement that forces users to verify their identity with more than just a username and password, and that now includes Financial Services Cloud. 3 methods count: an authenticator app, a security key, or built-in device authentication like Touch ID or Windows Hello. SMS and email codes no longer count as a valid factor under any enforcing system. There are 2 tracks here, moving on 2 different clocks. Track 1 is MFA for every internal user, anyone logging in directly or through SSO. That track was paused on July 1st, 2026, with a revised date since announced. Track 2 is phishing-resistant MFA for privileged users, anyone with Modify All Data, View All Data, Customize Application, or Author Apex. That track is active and was never delayed. The timeline tells the story. June 22nd, sandbox enforcement begins for both tracks together. July 1st, the production date for Track 1 hits, and MFA for all employee users gets quietly paused, no reason given. July 2nd, a revised schedule gets announced, and through all of it, Track 2 stays right on its original dates, completely unaffected. A loan officer rarely carries admin permissions, but enforcement still changes their day-to-day login. It shows up on the laptop at the branch, the phone in the car between appointments, the tablet at a client's kitchen table, even step-up prompts when pulling a pipeline report. The fix isn't complicated. Get people enrolled in a phishing-resistant method before their access is forced to change, not after. 3 reasons this hits mortgage ops harder than a typical sales org. 1. Loan files touch everything: borrower records, documents, disclosures, investor conditions. So broad data visibility often gets granted just to stop a report from breaking. 2. Admin teams run lean, sometimes just one part-time person managing an org, a consultant configured years ago. 3. Compliance risk compounds. A locked-out loan officer during a rate lock window can mean honoring a rate or relocking at a worse one. FSC sits on top of standard Salesforce, and that layering is exactly why enforcement catches its customers off guard. Custom objects like financial accounts and household groups are often reached through old permission sets. Household modeling is exactly the exposure. Loan processors mapping co-borrowers and underwriters reviewing household income are the users most likely to get flagged as privileged. Budget extra audit time accordingly. 5 things to hold on to. Enforcement is rolling out in phases, not on one fixed date. Privileged users need phishing-resistant authentication, and that was never delayed. Loan officers and mortgage ops should review permissions now. Financial Services Cloud customers may face extra compliance work, and connected apps or loan origination software integrations should be audited before enforcement resumes. 3 things to do before enforcement resumes. Pull every privileged user, query system administrator, then separately query Modify All Data, View All Data, Customize Application, and Author Apex. Check what your identity provider is sending, since Salesforce reads the AMR ACR signal, and a setup that satisfies your internal policy can still read as standard if the IDP isn't passing the right signal. And register 2 phishing-resistant methods per admin, so a lost phone or dead key can't lock your only admin out of production. The rest is about communication and mapping. Tell people before enrollment is forced on them. 10 minutes of setup on their own schedule beats a blocked login screen during a closing. Check exempt integration accounts, since the Wave MFA for exempt users' permission stops working automatically once enforcement hits. And map connected apps and mobile setup. OAuth web server and hybrid token flows are in scope, but JWT bearer and client credentials flows aren't. Salesforce built its security roadmap for the broadest possible customer base, and mortgage operations got pulled into the same schedule as everyone else. That's the trade off of running a compliance heavy, license driven business on a general purpose CRM. You inherit every platform wide security change on someone else's release calendar. Moserbus was built the other way around, starting from the loan file instead of a generic object model, so your team isn't maintaining a patchwork of permission sets just to keep processors and underwriters working. 3 quick answers. Is Salesforce MFA mandatory? Yes, for privileged users, never delayed. Does it affect financial services cloud? Yes, inherited permissions like view all data can pull FSC users into the privileged tier without them realizing it. Does it impact loan origination software integrations? It can. OAuth web server and hybrid token flows are in scope, JWT bearer and client credentials flows aren't. Whether you're evaluating a new mortgage CRM, comparing loan origination software, or looking for a purpose built loan origination system, choosing the right platform saves hours of administration and reduces compliance risk.